Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the video. You already know what it is. You read the title. You clicked on it. It's the long-awaited top 10 Overwatch League players not in the league. It was highly requested, and you guys know me. I want to do what you guys want. I got a couple things to say before we get into it, though. I looked for the best players in the game that are not in the league. Also, if a player is under 18 and not of age, I did not involve them in this video. So players like Who Are You, Hacksaw, Flower are not going to be in this video. And for the last time, guys, we're doing a giveaway here at Kungarna. There's only going to be like 4 hours left to get in on this. We're giving away a Kungarna signed jersey, Overwatch League t-shirt, and an Overwatch hat. So be sure to enter the giveaway. The Gleam link down in the description. It's very easy. Now let's jump into the video. Coming in at number 10, we have Budz. Budz. Man, how did you end up not in the Overwatch League? Especially when your entire team basically landed on the same team together. I mean, I have no idea, guys, why Budz is not in the Overwatch League, and specifically not on the Houston Outlaws with his ex-teammates. Now, there are rumors that he was involved and he started leaking stuff or something, and for this, they decided not to take him. I don't know if this is true or not. Honestly, we'll really never know until one of these players involved in it comes out and says something. So, for the reason him not being in the league, I don't know. He's a good player. Me personally, I've played against him in Contender Season 1. He's extremely flexible. His Genji, Pharah, Tracer, Doomfist, and Junkrat were all really good. All around the board, he was able to perform at a high level on multiple heroes, which is a good sign of a player. I mean, he honestly kind of reminds me of Jake a lot. Probably not as good as Jake, and probably doesn't bring as much to the team as Jake would, but he's got similarities as to his flexibility and hero pool. Budz has also had a long, successful career. He played with Fnatic for nearly a year, competing in multiple live events. He even went to Apex, E-League, ESL Gamescom, DreamHack, multiple major events. He's always held his own for his team, so I'm honestly not too sure how Budz didn't end up in the Overwatch League, guys. But moving on to number 9, we have Davon from Gigante. Now, I'm really surprised Davon isn't in the Overwatch League, especially considering his incredible performance at the Season 1 Overwatch Contenders LAN event. I mean, he absolutely popped off. He had a KD of 80 and 30 in the finals against Misfits, in what was an extremely close series. If Davon didn't play this incredibly, his team honestly probably not would have won the set. I mean, Linkser played really well too, but Davon, I mean, he had a 2.66 KD in the finals of Season 1 Contenders. That's pretty good. And considering he didn't make the league is really surprising, because right now, Tracer is so meta, and every team really has a Tracer specialist on him. Someone who's just completely dedicated to that role. For someone like Davon who has mastered the role, he's been mainly playing her only in tournaments for the past few months. You would definitely think that he would be in the Overwatch League. Now, for the reason him not being in it, I'm not sure. Maybe he didn't get that many tryouts. Maybe he didn't play that well in tryouts. I'm not too sure, to be honest. It's honestly just surprising that Davon didn't make it. At number 8, we have Leave from Miraculous Youngsters. Now, I had to involve a Chinese player in this video just because of all the controversy and accusations being made around how the Shanghai Dragons roster was put together. Now, what many analysts and people who keep a good eye on the Chinese region would say is, how come Miraculous Youngsters just didn't get straight up picked up by the Shanghai Dragons? Or at least some of their players. I mean, that's such a good performance against Lunatic High in the Seoul OGN Cup. And specifically, Leave was popping off. On the Tracer and Doomfist, he looked incredible. I mean, he wasn't just playing some Korean team, he was playing Lunatic High, one of the best of all time. And he looked amazing. So for a player like this not to find himself on the roster, it definitely raises some red flags. I don't know exactly how they chose the team, but apparently a lot of politics were involved, and that led a lot of people upset from the Chinese region, from the American region. It left questions in the air. Nobody from the Miraculous Youngsters roster was involved, and until just like literally 2 days ago, I think January 8th, the Miraculous Youngsters coach was announced to be a part of the Shanghai Dragons coaching staff. So besides this coach that made his way onto Shanghai Dragons, none of the players made it. And for being the best team in China, you would expect at least one player to make it, especially their star DPS player. But mid-season signings are coming soon, and with Shanghai Dragons probably not being one of the strongest teams in the league, they're definitely going to need to use the mid-signings to their advantage, and with an entire Chinese region for themselves to pick and choose from, they'll probably make some better decisions. Going into number 7, we have Waka from Kongdu Panthera. Just like some of these other players, there's a lot of rumors and speculation going around as to why they aren't in the league. Now, Waka Waka is really surprising to me. I mean, he literally played with the Kongdu Panthera roster for over a year. He was a part of all their success in Season 3 and Season 4, placing 2nd and 3rd. Now, you would expect this player to just have joined the London Spitfire roster along with his fellow teammates, but that didn't happen. I haven't found any solid proof about any of those rumors, but apparently Waka Waka wanted to join the Seoul Dynasty team, and he pursued trials with them and ended up not making the team. And because of this, London Spitfire didn't bring him along with. Now, again, I don't know the truth behind this. There's also rumors of him not wanting to leave Korea and deciding to not join the league because of that. Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know how Waka Waka did not end up in the league, but he was clearly a key role in Kongdu Panthera's success throughout their existence in the Overwatch scene. It's the same situation with Budz. Like, you honestly don't really know why he isn't in the league until somebody who was involved in the situation comes out and says something. So we'll just have to wait and see and figure out why Waka Waka isn't in the Overwatch league. And if I had to guess, he'll probably get signed in the mid-seasons if somebody needs a solid support, and definitely for Season 2. But actually, a month ago, there was a statement released by Team Kongdu stating that Void had been benched from the team and suspended. He would not be involved with any of the team activities, scrims, practice, VODs, tournaments, anything, completely suspended, kicked out of the team house for behavior issues that he was warned about multiple times, and there was no improvement on his end. So hearing about this, potentially he didn't make the league because he's toxic. I don't know. This is all speculation. They didn't say exactly what he did, but for being kicked out of the team house and suspended immediately from the team and being warned multiple times, you have to assume it was about his attitude. There's got to be something going on there, which is quite unfortunate. Hopefully he gets his stuff together and we see him in the future. Moving on to number 6, we have Saya Player from Meta Athena. Now, at the beginning of 2017, Saya Player was looking like one of the best players in the entire world. And Meta Athena were actually looking like one of the best teams in the world as well. Starting off in the challenger scene, they went on a 20-game win streak tear, absolutely destroying the entire Tier 2 scene in Korea. Then, moving on to Apex Season 2, they took out the Season 1 winners, Envious. Because of this, they had a lot of hype behind them, and they ran up against Lunatic High in the semifinals. They went down in the set early, 0-2, but they fought back and took it to a Game 5. This series was absolutely a nail-biter. I was on the edge of my seat watching in excitement. And I remember at the time I was actually cheering for Meta Athena because I thought Saya Player was so good and I really wanted to see a team come out of nowhere and complete the railroad. I thought it was awesome what they were doing, but unfortunately they lost that game. They were inches away from beating Lunatic High, and who knows, if they did, Saya Player could be known as one of the best players in the world right now, and Meta Athena could have easily been in the Overwatch League together, being known as one of the best teams in the world. But because they fell short against Lunatic High, that didn't happen, and ever since that loss, they just looked like worse and worse and worse of a team. There's also rumors out there that Saya Player was receiving Overwatch League offers, and he decided to decline them so he could stick together with his current team. I mean, I commend him for his loyalty, but again, it's the Overwatch League. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So, I probably would have advised him to have taken it. Moving on to number 5, we have Void, also from the Kongdu Panthera roster. Now, personally, I remember watching Void in Season 3 of Apex, and this guy looked like the best diva in the entire tournament. I mean, literally every single diva ult he threw, no matter how weird or awkward of an angle he threw it at, and you just didn't understand what he was going for, he would pick up kills every single time, putting his team in a good position to win the team fight. I was super impressed with him and thought he was one of the best divas in the entire world. And as well, seeing him not join London Spitfire with his ex-teammates was a bit confusing because this guy was good, man. He was good. Just like Waka Waka, though, there's rumors out there that apparently he didn't want to leave Korea. Not too sure how true that is, but, I mean, if he didn't want to leave Korea, he didn't want to leave his hometown, I don't know. That's on him. But there's also rumors that London Spitfire didn't bring him because he was skipping out on scrims and not showing up and stuff. And, I mean, if that's the truth, then, I mean, kind of dug his own grave. But still, for being such a good player, you would have expected him to make the Overwatch League. Even if it wasn't with the London Spitfire, you'd think a Western team would have wanted to trial him. He just looks so good on the Diva. But that's it for him. Moving on to number 4, we have Stitch from Runaway. Of course it's Stitch, guys. How could I not involve him on this list? The guy's absolutely insane. His Tracer, I mean, just absurd. His McCree, Junkrat, both very good. Widowmaker, I've seen him play multiple heroes throughout his career. He's always been a standout player on Runaway. I mean, I could have easily listed the entire Runaway roster on this list, guys. They're known for being the best team in Overwatch history to not win a championship, so you had to have expected me to put a couple of their players here. Putting Stitch at number 4. He always had top tier performances in huge matches, Apex Season 2 finals, Apex Season 4 finals. He showed up. Fortunately, they were just short, barely inches short of winning. Runaway is the best team outside of the Overwatch League, and if they were in the Overwatch League, they would obviously be playoff contenders and more than likely championship contenders. It would have been a treat to see an entire team pick up the Runaway roster, but for some reason, they didn't. And again, you just got to commend Stitch for sticking it out with his team and declining Overwatch League offers. Just the camaraderie, the loyalty towards his teammates, that's something special. You don't see that every day. Like I said, if I were in that position, I would have advised him to take in the offer, because you know every single team was out there trying to get him. But he stayed true, and you just got to commend it. You got to commend it. Moving on to number 3. We have AKM. Everybody knew he was going to be on this list. He's what most people would say the best Western Overwatch player that did not get in the league. And I mean, honestly, I have to agree with them. How did he not get in the league? The guy had an incredible career with Rogue. I mean, I could literally do a list of top 5 or top 10 teams in Overwatch history, and Rogue would be up there, man. And a lot of that is due to AKM. He's been recognized worldwide as one of the best players in the game. I mean, players from teams like Lunatic High, Runaway, LW Blue have all praised him for his aim, for how he can output so much damage while under so much pressure. I mean, you would just expect someone who gets praised like that to be in the league. And again, back to like speculation and rumors. There's a lot of rumors and speculation as to why AKM is not in the league. He actually did an interview in French the other day, and somebody translated it on Reddit. Now, AKM responded to that thread and he said the translation was taken out of context. So take this kind of with a grain of salt, but I think we could still assume the concepts of the translation are true, which is that he had only one trial with Philadelphia. He did one block with them. Another thing that he apparently said was that he was in small talks with the Dallas Fuel. Now, it was very minor. They both showed interest in each other, and that's basically as far as it got. Whether he ended up not wanting to join or they ended up not wanting him, it kind of just died out and he ended up not joining. And lastly, that Rogue kind of did their players dirty. Now, apparently none of the players were involved in the discussions to join the Overwatch League teams, and Rogue was driving their buyouts up like crazy. And because of this, a lot of the Overwatch League teams did not think it was worth to pay the money. Now, who knows how true all of this is, but it seems like AKM kind of got the raw end of the deal. Luckily, things seem to be going good for AKM. He recently signed with Red Bull. Definitely a lot of opportunities there, and I would not be surprised if he was signed during the mid-season. So I'm glad AKM is still working hard and trying to make the league, and I expect him to get there. Now, moving on to number 2, we have Cox from Runaway. Now, I don't know if a lot of people share this opinion with me, but if there wasn't a Ryu Jahong in Overwatch, I swear it would be Cox. What I mean by that is if Ryu Jahong didn't exist and never played Overwatch, the best support in the world would be known as Cox. I mean, this guy is absolutely insane. I mean, have you seen him play Zenyatta, dude? Like, this guy even plays DPS. There have been Apex games where he busted out the Genji, the McCree, the Tracer, and he just completely fragged out. His aim is incredible. Like, he literally probably could have made teams as a DPS player. And you know damn straight, he literally could have probably picked and choose which team he wanted to join in the Overwatch League. But just like Stitch and Seiya player, he stayed loyal to his teammates, which is incredible, man, because I bet Cox's contracts were even high as hell, too. He could have probably made a good living in the Overwatch League. I mean, seriously, there have been games where I saw Runaway play, and this guy just absolutely carried, put them on their back, similar to how Ryu Jahong has done for Lunatic High. And hands down, Cox is the best support player not in the Overwatch League. I can't wait to see more of him in Korea contenders, and I would expect Runaway to be signed as a full team come Overwatch League Season 2. Moving on to number 1. Who do you guys think it is, huh? Can I get a drum roll for this one? The number 1 player not in the Overwatch League is Fran. Now, I'm sure there's some of you who were expecting me to put Fran on this list, and some of you who weren't expecting it. But he's number 1, guys. Fran is the best player in the entire world that is not in the Overwatch League. And I think this is a fair statement to say. And if some of you guys disagree, the guy was insane. He was just so good at the game. And I don't care what people say. He absolutely carried Selfless. I mean, yeah, Emong was there. He did some work. Sinatra was there. He did some work too. But dude, Fran carried that team. If there was no Fran, they would have never peaked like they did. They would have stayed a mediocre team. They would have, at best, peaked top 8 in NA, bottom of tier 1. But Fran just helped them get to the top. I mean, literally. In some of those road games, he did so much. It was just incredible that they did not win. It was mind-blowing that Rogue won some of those games, considering how well Fran was performing. And you gotta damn well know that this got to Fran. I mean, if I was in his shoes and I was performing that well and my team was losing, I wouldn't be able to wrap my mind around it. I would just honestly be sitting there like, how did we lose that, guys? What more do I have to do? And I believe this is one of the reasons he ended up burning out. He was playing the game too much. He was doing too good for his team. And he needed a break. He needed a break. And he ended up getting one. As we all know, he got banned for some time. And he's returned. He's been streaming. His stream is awesome. I mean, you go to Overwatch competitive Reddit. You see clips of him popping off all the time. The guy does incredible stuff. He's honestly the best player I ever played. Hands down the best player I ever played. I said this about him in my Fran Rise and Fall video. Check that out if you guys haven't seen him. It's a very in-depth video about Fran's career. So give that one a watch. But basically, he's the best player. I've played against a lot of great players, guys. Effect, Taimu, Fate, Envy, Agilities. I mean, just like so many good players. Unco soon. And Fran, by far, is just on a whole nother level. That guy is insane. Just everything he does, his movement, his aim, his decision making, they're all just so unique and just incredible. And you damn well know if Fran dropped what he was doing right now and just completely focused on becoming the best player he could and getting into the mid-season signings of Overwatch League, he would 100% get signed and he would carry whatever team he got onto. They would immediately go from either being a bottom tier team to a middle pack competing team, or middle pack competing team to a top team. So hopefully one day Fran will come back and he'll start competing again. But until then, we'll just have to wait and hope. And that's it for my list, guys. If you enjoyed it, please slap a like onto the video. Subscribe to my channel. You guys wanted this one and I delivered it for you. And don't be upset if a player didn't make this list, guys. There were so many good players to put on this list. It was hard to pick and choose. And the last thing, guys, be sure to join the Discord. The link will be down in the description and in the comments. Come discuss anything and everything to do with Overwatch, whether it's about my channel, Overwatch League, Congarno, whatever you want. Come hang out. We got a great community going. And I'll see you guys later. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Peace.